We are recording, so whenever you're ready.
Okay. So good morning. For the record, I'm Chris Young, Chair of the HTC Sign Advisory Committee. Let's confirm access. Members, please respond with an aye when I call your name. Kevin Kuster.
Aye.
Paul Wolf.
Aye.
And Ben Norman.
Aye.
And staff, we have Kathy Flynn.
Present.
Great. This open meeting of the SAC is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020. That order allows public bodies to convene remotely so long as public access to deliberations is reasonably provided. This meeting is convening via Zoom with video and audio recording, and we're being broadcast via the YouTube on the town's YouTube channel. This meeting will feature public comment. Materials provided to members for the meeting or provided during the meeting will be available on the town's website. During the meeting, I'll introduce agenda topics and speakers. Please remember to mute your Zoom audio until your name is called. Let's direct comments and questions through the chair to avoid crosstalk and make taking of minutes easier. And lastly, votes will be conducted by roll call. That said, we'll move on to the meeting. We'll call it to order at 9:02 on May 11th, 2021. Do we have a motion to approve our agenda?
So moved.
Paul, thank you. Kevin, is that a second?
Second.
Great. Ben, are you in favor?
I'm in favor.
And Paul
Aye.
and Kevin?
Aye.
I am as well. Great. So do we have a motion to approve our minutes from the last meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Paul. Ben, are you in favor?
I'm in favor.
And Paul
Aye.
and Kevin?
Aye.
Great. So is anybody on for general public comment not related to a application pending or future? No, we'll move on to the first item on the application agenda. So this is Dalton, you're here. Tell us what we are looking at.
So this is for 9 Center Street.
Okay.
And
This is-
we, took your comments and basically redesigned it. And hopefully this is good.
All right, let me go down the board of members. Paul, do you have any thoughts?
I don't think I have any problems. Questions?
All right, thank you, Kevin.
I think it looks good. My only question would be if that red is too bright or not, but I think they did a good job with the sun.
Okay. Are there any color codes given here, or just out of curiosity? Kathy, do we have any? No, okay.
Humanity.
And is the gold going to be gold leaf or gold paint, just out of curiosity?
That I don't know, but I can, what would you guys like?
Okay.
What do you prefer, one or?
I mean, gold leaf would be probably
Okay.
more eye-catching for their sake. And I think it lasts longer. The gold paint we find kind of just quickly fades into a blacker look, which might be really hard to read against this black background.
Okay, I'll let her know.
Yeah. And Ben, do you have any thoughts?
I wasn't here for the initial presentation, but the sign looks
Okay.
nice. So I don't know if I have to recuse.
Okay. Okay, well, yeah, thanks, Dalton, and thanks to the applicant for revising this. I think it's a much improved sign for that, especially for this location. So I think it's a approved. Motion to approve by Paul. Do we have a second?
Second with a modification of gold leaf.
Okay.
Hello?
Thank you. So we have a motion to approve with gold leaf paint. Paul, are you in favor?
Yes, aye.
And Kevin?
Aye.
I am as well. And Ben, you're going to recuse.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Dalton.
All right, thank you guys. Bye.
Bye. All right, Kathy, what's next up on the agenda?
Tori Ewing is on, or at the meeting, I believe I just saw her name.
Okay.
I'm here.
Hey, Tori.
Hi, good
So-
morning.
Good morning. So this is also a second view of this application. What are we looking at today?
So we've taken your advice. I measured that armature. Is that the right way to pronounce that word?
Sure.
It's existing. And that is roughly 34 inches off the building. So we're open to your suggestion as to what height a new armature should be mounted at. I thought at the top of the window trim there might be a good area. If you think it should go up or down, of course, that's no problem. And with the depth of the armature being 34 feet, I am in conversation with Sign here in Nantucket, I think it's called, on Old South Road there, the Ramos couple, but she was out at the end of last week, so I don't have her exact dimensions, but I was assuming we'd want to come at least 8 inches, 4 inches on each side in from the wall and have it kind of centered on the armature. That's 19 inches wide right there, that area, just for reference. And then we're going to do just the light preserver hand carved itself with the roping gold leaf. And I've submitted 2 Benjamin Moore colors for the black and the red. The only thing that the owner has asked is if we could change this burgundy that I submitted to the historic color. I believe it's called Tristram's Red, HDC approved historic colors.
Okay. I'm not sure if your audio cut out for everybody. I lost a little bit of what you were saying in the middle.
Oh, okay.
The rest of
Should
the
I
board,
open it
did
to
you
any
guys hear?
question?
That's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah, let me just go down. So just to be clear, you're proposing a projecting sign as opposed to a wall sign coming off the corner
Correct.
of the building. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Let me go down the board. Paul, do you have any questions or comments?
The only question, I was a little confused when you were showing the tape measure. I'm assuming it's going to project out from the wall, not, what are you measuring here?
Yeah, I just wanted to show you what, in case you were wondering what the amount of space is there.
And the bracket would go, the bracket would go in the middle of that space?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, okay.
And we're open to your suggestion if you think it should be higher or lower or whatever.
I don't know. Can we see the front of the whole building? I guess it really doesn't make any, I don't think it makes any difference. No more questions.
Okay. Ben?
Again, I wasn't here for the initial presentation, so I'm unsure, but I'm a little, but
Okay.
I got recused, I guess. I'm sorry.
This is a new
All right.
presentation.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, this is consider this a new application. We basically had, I mean, this is a new look at a new sign. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, if you have any thoughts.
Then, yeah, no, I think it seems good. I actually would say it should go above the head of the window casing.
Okay.
Just to keep it out of the flange of the sign, out of the window view. I think it should go above. It seems more appropriate. Not centered, but just like vertically from where you're proposing it. Just, yeah, exactly. Where that cursor is.
Yeah.
That'll be my
Okay, great.
suggestion.
Kevin?
Yeah, I would look as far as height goes to that the top of the sign should be a little bit, should be like one clapboard up from the top of the window casing.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm afraid it might get too low for people to be able to, comfortably look at it. So other than that, I think it's a good solution. Thank you.
Got it. Tori, I just have a couple questions. Is the sign going to be, will it be, have a hole in the middle? Is it gonna be like a life preserver or is it, okay,
Yes,
got it.
that's what we were thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. And is there going to be a sign put back on the bracket of Nantucket Pure? Or is that
So,
bracket being
so
moved?
it's not being moved evidently. When this individual did inquire with the owner of the building, Tate, he said that he had something that he was going to go there. So I'm not sure if that's a new presentation that he'll be bringing to you or an old presentation that was pre-approved. But yes, there was a conversation that he did have plans to eventually put something on that armature.
Okay. I just think that the two armatures in that case should be the same. I don't think that we want to start mixing and matching sort of armatures and heights on the building. So personally, and this
Okay.
might also satisfy what everybody else is saying, having the bottom of the sign sort of be out of the way of the window. I'd say match the armature, match the height.
Okay,
And use that as the location.
okay.
So does somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve with the armature placed in the same elevation as the existing armature.
Okay. Can we
Okay.
amend that to say the same design armature as well? So we don't have
Yep,
to
yes, please. Yep.
scrolling armature. Okay. Thanks. So do we have a second for that?
Second,
Paul, thanks, Paul. Kevin, are you in favor?
Aye.
Is that a yes, Kevin?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Paul
aye.
and Ben?
Aye.
All right. Thanks, Tori.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Chris, you're breaking up.
Am I? Okay. If I am in, if you can't hear me, Kevin, why don't you take over if I fade away?
Okay.
But can you guys hear me now? Yeah, sorry. I don't know what's wrong. Who do we have representing this application?
It's 58B Main Street. Antonio
Okay,
is on.
And I'm on Gene.
I'm on Antonio as well.
okay. Whoever would like to present this, go ahead. Tell us what we're looking at.
Well, David Chase's sign is moving to the left. And Clorinda and Tenori is going to replace that sign.
Mr. Chair, I believe those are two options for colors as well, correct?
Yeah, and it's not Gardner Green, it's Essex. It should have been Essex Green to match the building and the existing sign. Essex Hussey.
Okay. Got it.
But Antonio's first
Ben,
choice
do you have
would
any?
be
Oh, sorry.
Nantucket Red.
Okay. Ben,
I
do
don't
you have
know.
any
Sorry, I don't
comments?
know if that came out clear, but I guess we put both options there. First option would be Nantucket Red, and the second option being the Essex Green background.
Okay, understood. So let's go down the board. Ben, do you have any comments on this?
No, I think the Essex green is probably the more palatable option, but I'm not totally opposed to the Nantucket red either. So I think green is better, but I'm happy to hear what the rest of the board has to say.
Okay, Paul?
I would agree with what Ben said.
Okay, Kevin?
I think it's a handsome sign. I would recommend the Gardner or the Hunter Green, whatever matches the existing sign. I just think it's going to hold together for the building as a whole. That's all.
Okay. Okay, so we could, Antonio, if the Gardner green would be, or the Essex green would be an acceptable color to you as well, you're saying, correct? I mean, that's
Yes,
important
you
for
know,
us,
I
but I think
proposed
it's,
this one because we do, it's a women's shoe store. So I thought, you know, Nantucket red, probably a little bit more feminine than the green. But
yeah,
the green, you know, it's really nice as well. So I thought we'd propose both
Okay.
to see if the Nantucket red is an option.
okay, I think that it's for this particular building, which is pretty iconic, and the fact that the signage is sort of a mirror image, I think it's important that we try to have the two work together. So I'd like to see the Essex green as well. Do we have a motion?
Motion to
Board?
approve with Essex green.
Second,
All right, thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Paul. Ben, are you in favor?
In favor?
Paul
aye.
and Kevin?
Aye.
Okay, I am as well. So thank you, guys. That'll go up for approval at tonight's meeting with Essex Green.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks.
Take care.
Thanks. You too.
Mr. Chair, I don't believe I
Yes.
see David on here. He didn't submit anything. Maybe he might
Right.
have maybe been able to screen share something at the meeting today, but I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, this was held, correct? We approved the wall sign.
Let's help for more
Mirroring the,
information.
Yeah. Okay, so if we haven't seen any new information, I think we should hold for further representation or revisions.
So move.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Thanks, Ben. Paul, are you in favor?
I am, but I don't understand what we're doing because the representation is here. So what's the question?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I think, do we have a representative for David Chase here?
I didn't
Is
see
there-
David.
No? I
Yeah,
never
Paul, I
got
think
it.
they were representing the store. Yeah, same building, different store keeper.
All right,
So,
sorry. I approve.
okay.
Aye.
And Ben,
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
okay, I as well. So this is the town of Nantucket. I see Eric is on the line. Are you?
Hi, Chris.
Representing
I'm
Miss
here with
Erica.
Janet
Hi.
Schulte, and we're gonna tag
Okay.
team this.
Let me
All
start,
right.
let me start by giving you a context for what this project is. It's an educational panel that is being placed, there are several of them being placed around Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, the South Coast, and the South Shore. And they're tied to a project called Expedition Blue and the Blue Economy. And the idea is that these panels present information to visitors, primarily focused on younger people, about the impact of the ocean on our local economy. So this is a structure that has several different signage on it because it describes what, it names the project, it names the location, and then it talks a little bit about, a couple of sentences about what Children's, in this case, Children's Beach, and what you see in terms of our local economy when you look out at it. And then it directs you to a website where we will have more information about the impact of the ocean on our local economy. So I'll let Erica take you, or Kathy take you through the structure and some of the signage that's on it. And these are being, the same images are being put up on these structures around the island, the vineyard, the Cape, and the South Coast and South Shore.
Kathy, can you scroll down actually to the approved HDC application for the structure itself? I just want to show them further down what the structure itself is going to look like. That's probably the one with the color, I think. Nope, go back up. Well, that's probably good. So if you see in this picture here, ours isn't going to be a cube. It's just going to be actually like that, almost like that front wall that has the half shingle. And there's that's the signs, but if one more up, there you go. See how it's circled? So it's got very specific signage and it's all matching, as Janet said, the other of these projects around the Cape and Islands. So if we go back up, we finally did get the wording and the signs approved. And so there's 3 signs. There's one that goes on the, can you scroll back up, Kathy? Sorry. So the first, if you go to the one that shows them all, you'll see like the big 24 by 24 kind of sits in the middle. And that's what you see on the side of the shingled half wall. And then the top part is has some description. So the top of the wall, it wraps. It's a 90-degree sign. And then to the right, you'll see there's the one that almost looks like little X's. And those are just, sorry, I'm like trying to point on my computer. It's signs.
Hey, Erica, would you rather screen share?
Sorry,
Would you rather screen share?
if that works for you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Plug it out.
Okay, so can you all see my screen now? So this one here is the big middle one, and that's a 90-degree. And you know, so this is the front here, this big 24 by 24, and then this panel here is the top part of that. And then we have this littler sign here that's kind of sits on top of the half wall, but it's affixed to the arm of the structure. And that is shown here with these, it's like a 2-sided sign. And again, it says the Expedition Blue on one side, and then it has the wording on Children's Beach on the other. And then the long 48-inch sign here with Nantucket and Expedition Blue, that is just a 90-degree sign that sits on the edge of the arm of the opposite wall here. So I can show you, this is the viewfinder sign, and it just talks about, again, Children's Beach, and then there's the QR code that people can zap on and get more information, because I think the intent was to limit how much information is written here, but people could bring more information home. Again, this is the large 24 by 24 that sits on the rail with some information about the Expedition Blue with, again, the QR code that gives more information. And then this is the 48-inch sign that's a 90-degree angle. It says Nantucket on one side, Expedition Blue on the other. The colors, it says here deep blue, but we're going with Hail Navy, which was the approved color of the structure by HDC. And they were hoping for this, they're calling it bright blue here, but it's like a teal blue. But we would be open to changing that to white too if you don't like the teal, but we're asking for the teal first because that's the same color coordination that's, again, across all of these structures across the Cape and Islands. So I'll open it up for questions.
As Erica mentioned, this has been reviewed by the HDC and approved, and we also took it to Parks and Rec because it is on Children's Beach and they've approved the location. And the fact that it kind of matches the playground equipment that's there too.
Oh, okay, everybody. I lost my connection for a little while, so I'm going to. Kevin, do you want to lead this discussion? I missed a few minutes of the presentation. I'm sorry to say.
Sure. I guess we'll start with comments. Ben, what do you have for us?
You know, it's definitely an interesting educational tool, and it's nice that it's by the playground because the playground itself is sort of a man-made landscape and sort of modern. I mean, clearly the signs are very modern and don't really have any historical reference whatsoever. Feels like a modern gym or something. The HDC approved the structure, which is sort of forcing our hand to approve some signage here. But I'm worried about this signage just not having any historical, it's almost a slap in the face for his history. It just doesn't feel historic at all. Is there a timeline on all this stuff, or is this going to be put up forever?
It's got a 25-year lifespan, and the structure itself was designed by the architects to resemble the fishing shacks along the National Seashore, but to
Okay.
reflect that on that as an historical reference.
Okay. Yeah, if it's gonna be up for over 25 years, I think we need to find more, the signage needs to be a little bit more historically sensitive. Those are my comments.
Okay, Paul?
Yeah, from a personal point of view, I think the whole concept is a bad idea for Nantucket. This is a statewide Eastern Massachusetts program from Cambridge to Cape Cod, and we're different from other places. And if we start doing everything that gets done on Cape Cod, we might as well start charging for parking at the beaches. I mean, I just think it's not the right thing for Nantucket. That's a personal thing. As far as the sign committee is concerned, I'm shocked that the HTC approved a 8-foot high structure to hang signs on. I don't quite know what they were thinking, but that's not approvable. Nothing on this application is approvable from the sign guideline point of view. The messages, I don't think they're terribly meaningful, but that's not for me to decide, us to decide. My biggest concern is this just one of many more to come? Are we gonna do this on Easy Street for that new park there? I mean, I'm very concerned that this is a trend in the wrong direction. So those are my comments.
Okay, Chris, you want to add anything? Chris, you there or no?
No, he's muted.
No, okay.
Paul, I'm sorry, Kevin. I agree. I do. I was just looking through the application. I apologize that my connection got lost during the presentation, but I have to agree with Paul. I'm not seeing how these signs would fall under public information, which is the only type of sign I could see it fitting into the guidelines to seek approval for, and it doesn't meet the public information sign design requirements, and it's questionable if it would even satisfy really, what the public information signs are meant to be used for. So I'd have a hard time seeing how this doesn't open the door for precedent that we don't want to establish. So.
All right. I agree with what's been said. I would just add that we have a format for this type of application. I guess I would see it as being similar to what we approved at Sanctity Light, and I think we approved one recently for one of the farms or community gardens, where they're mounted more at ground level and at an angle and not so intrusive in the space. If they wanted to adapt some of the graphics to fit that type of a sign, I could see where that might work. But other than that, I think this application, while it may cover the objectives of what this Expedition Blue is, it doesn't fit with any of the guidelines that we have here, and I think it's important to keep. What this sign ironically talks about is the economy, and we are charged with trying to keep this economy humming along also. And as part of that, our job is to make sure that the signage fits within the guidelines. So I think would probably be best to hold for revisions unless they want to withdraw those. Any comments from the applicant?
what is the, so if we withdraw it, can we resubmit it another time? How does that work? I mean, what is the better, what is the better process here?
Well,
Mr. Chair, if I may,
Sure.
sorry, just for staff purposes, you can either keep extending this or you can withdraw and resubmit. So whatever is easier. We'll just send you extension forms. If that works better for you. So you don't have to lose, all the paperwork, and we'll have it here in the
Yeah.
building.
I would
That seems to make sense. I don't know if you've if you get a chance to take a look at what we did out for, Sankaty Light. If you think that's something you can work towards, then I would, definitely hold for revisions.
Unfortunately, I think that they're trying to keep continuity amongst all the signs in the communities that are hosting these.
We don't want to be like everybody else.
So I'm almost of the mind frame to withdraw and regroup. But I'm gonna ask Janet what she thinks.
Yeah, the idea is that these are wayfinding stations scattered across the Cape and Islands that are consistent in their visual presentation in order to give visitors a sense of how tied the Cape and Islands and South Coast are to the ocean for their economic opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody understands what they're trying to do. I think it's important, maybe just because it's how it works here. I mean, we have corporations who come in here that want to use their fonts and want to use, their materials, and we work real hard to make sure that everybody fits within the guidelines. So I don't see why this becomes an exception simply because it's an out-of-town program. So I don't know, what's the pleasure of the board?
I would make a motion to hold for revisions if the applicant does not want to withdraw.
I would
So-
rather withdraw and resubmit.
Okay. All right. we'll
So
go back
motion to accept the withdrawal.
So, Mr. Chair, be motion to withdraw without prejudice.
So, yeah, thank you. I make that motion to withdraw without prejudice.
All those in favor?
I'll second that.
All those in favor, Paul,
Aye.
Ben,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
I'm in favor as well. Thank you.
Thanks so much for your time. I appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Thanks.
Mr. Chair, let me see. David Cox is on the line. Let me just pull up his application, and he just emailed me something as well. He is for 58 Main Street, the projecting sign.
Kevin, why don't you keep the chair, since I'm not sure how my connections are going to be today.
Sure. Sure. I think our question on this was how the armature was going to be handled, and specifically where it was going to go relative to that curved.
David?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. My understanding would to keep it the same height on the same plane, moved over to the corner. And I submitted image of what the sign would look like with the armature for the bracket.
And
Okay.
did you, excuse me, Mr. Chair, David, did you just email that to me? I haven't gotten it yet.
No, I emailed that last week.
Okay, while you guys are discussing, let me see if I can find it. Did you email it to me or HTC Submissions
To you, I believe, directly to you.
last week?
Would have been it would have probably been Tuesday, Wednesday, I think. for the middle of the week.
Are you I think I guess we're trying to find the photo. I'm just trying to get a sense of what the bracket looks like, if it's the same design or.
But, well, obviously the bracket that's there will be disposed of. It just fits basically for that opening of the door opening. So that armature could not be used. It's just going to be the gentleman that was on there earlier, I was listening to for 58 for my other space. I mean that I forwarded the bracket with the sign, so they should be there.
Mr. Chair, if I could ask a question to
Sure.
the applicant. Before we see the armature, David, is the idea to have it in the same perpendicular orientation to the front of the building the way it is now, as opposed to, it's not wrapping around the corner of Orange Street, correct? It's
No,
still sort of perpendicular to Main Street.
Yeah, it would
Okay.
remain on Main Street, no different than say Mitchell's on the opposite corner.
Okay. Thanks.
It's
And you see the armature kind of protruding out at the same elevation that it is now, so it would hang just below that overhang. I take it.
that's what I was suggesting.
Yeah.
The only thing that I sent in that was different was the sign needs to be refurbished. So based on the cost of refurbishing it, I could pretty much, replace it. And I was offering, a suggestion of exactly the same size or something that would, instead of being out 36 inches from the wall, would come out only 34 inches. So it would be, giving you guys an option if you wanted it to be that, 2 inches smaller. But that was pretty much the only thing that that I sent in that was any different, just as an option.
And also, sorry, through you, Mr. Chair, I don't see any attachments that you sent me. David, I'll look
Let me
through
see.
the, yeah, sorry about this, everybody.
I mean, does anybody have any comments based upon what we learned here? Or I have one other quick question that maybe we can, you would mount this to the inside of that downspout, that down leader?
I think that's probably best. I don't think you want to get it any closer to the corner. It could go, it could physically go on either side, but I think for construction, I think it would be better just slightly on the inside.
Yeah, good, okay. I mean, it seems to me that we could approve this through staff, resubmit that drawing and see if it, make sure that it just kind of complies with what we've discussed. I don't know, what do you guys think? I don't think we're far off.
I agree.
I would probably say the
I would
smaller
second
one
that.
just because it brings it in closer to the building, but.
Yeah, I would make a motion to approve.
I can forward it right now if you like. That has the sign. Has the image. Is there a way to forward it specifically to someone the quickest to get it up?
Okay.
Well, Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to approve through staff for the armature design with the 34-inch sign located at the same height as the existing inside of the downspout.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Paul, okay, Ben,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
I'm in favor as well. Thank you very much and for working with us on that.
Thank you. Sorry, guys.
Okay. Who did we lose?
So this actually is under your preliminary review. Kara Marquis is on the line and she wanted to discuss something with you all.
What?
Hi, hello. So we approved a couple signs for this business last week or 2 weeks ago for now, and they've requested that I ask you. They want the stairwell is, it's right now it's kind of old looking, and they want to paint it, and they requested the permission for this. And I just preliminary wanted to know if there's anything that would be considered for them here.
Chris, are you doing this or?
Sure, my connection's okay, I'll take it.
Okay.
So I guess I'll open it up for comments. If what I'm understanding, Kara, is that you're asking to, I'm not sure if the HTC, I'm pretty sure the HTC would have to approve the painting of the brick to white. So that would be independent of us, and the handrail to that
So I think-
light blue.
I think it's already white. So and if there's somewhere else.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's already
Okay.
white. It's just more dirty white.
Got it. So that's outside of our jurisdiction anyway, but as far as painting, I don't think there's any precedent or even allowance in the guidelines for painting onto a wall, as opposed to having a wall, like a sign that's mounted. So using a brick wall for a backdrop, I can't see how that complies or where we would find the flexibility in the guidelines for that. I'll share the rest of the board's comments here. Ben?
Yeah, I don't think this is a precedent that I'm ready to jump into. But now board members, correct me if I'm wrong, but could they have a chalkboard that leans against that wall with the same messaging on it? If it counted towards one of their signs, I think that might be a more traditional way of handling this messaging without physically painting on the wall. I would have to read in the guidelines if that's approvable, but as being shown right now, I'm not comfortable moving forward with that.
Okay, thanks. I think, how many signs did they apply for the other day? Did they get two, Kara?
Yes.
Yeah, so that would be their limit. So if they were to want a chalkboard, I think they'd have
So
to.
say they had a chalkboard, could they count that as their second sign and remove and not make one of their other signs? I mean, I don't think that's what they'll want to do. I just want to get them.
Yeah, and the guidelines allow for a chalkboard to be one of your two signs. So
Sorry, real quickly, I just thought of something. Are you thinking about putting the chalkboard down at the base of the steps?
I mean, I imagine if they had a chalkboard, they'd want it at the top.
Well,
of the step, not there.
I'm just thinking of
Right.
fire safety codes. You might want to check with other departments to see if that's allowable. They might not. It might, like if there were an emergency, it might block their access to get out. Just food for thought.
Is doing any painting, whether their logo's on there or not, is that something that falls under the sign committee, or is that something else?
it does, any representation of the business or the goods being sold or attracting, the definition of signage is pretty broad in the beginning of the sign book. So I think logos, indications of product would be included. So let me continue with the board as well, though. Kevin?
I don't really have anything to add. They already have approval for their two signs, and this type of an application just isn't appropriate for us.
Okay, Paul?
I agree with what's been said.
Okay, so Kara, that's sort of
That's fine.
the board's opinion, yeah. The second sign, if they decided to use a chalkboard, they should just come back, reapply for what sign they want to remove and replace with a chalkboard. And let us know where that's going to go. Thanks, Gary.
you.
Kathy, is that everything on the agenda?
That is it. There's a second page. Just the side guide. Yeah, it's for applications, yes.
Okay. Is there anything else that the board wants to discuss today?
I have just one quick question. Do we have a sense of when we might get back to like our, normal springtime enforcement, or are we just still on hold with,
Enforcement for COVID-related signs? Is that what you're asking?
well, just some,
Or Board of Health issues or?
just the normal kind of stuff I'm starting to see a lot of stuff pop up in town again, whiteboards and this and that, and I'm not sure if we're enforcing that or.
I can, I just
Oh, okay.
haven't received any. Send them my way. The only thing that I'm trying to get clarification on right now are the town issued Board of Health signs and the exact date. I believe it's emergency order 11, which that waives certain certificate of appropriateness, including signage for outside dining, but I think it also encompasses the COVID related health and safety signs. And Paul had sent me an email, and I'm researching that as we speak. And
Okay.
but anything else, send my way.
Okay.
Yeah, I think my opinion is if it's not COVID related, we should deal with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing if it's a town issued. Erica was getting back to me on that this morning. She's gonna find out. So she
Okay, thanks. And Paul, you had sent in a concern about what looks like a town sign.
I did.
At Union and
It's on the
Francis.
on the corner of Francis and Union Street in that little park there. They previously had a COVID sign. Now there's a sign that just says, I don't have it in front of me, Town of Nantucket, keep it safe or something like that. There's no message on it. There's a picture of the Sanctity light. And there's some kind of that symbol on the bottom right-hand corner that you have to use your phone to read it, but you can't get out of your car because it's on a very busy corner. There it is. I think it's totally inappropriate. I wish Erica was still here. Maybe you could ask her about it, Kathy.
Yeah, there's one out at the Rotary too.
Is there same thing?
Similar.
So
Right.
was it a former a COVID sign?
Yes.
Yeah, see, I don't think it's a COVID sign anymore.
Well, like I said, I emailed this to her, and so I'm waiting for
Okay.
her reply.
All right, good. Just things are going to get out of control if we don't try to control them.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kathy.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Paul. All right,
To adjourn.
Kevin, motions. Do we have a second?
Second
Second.
that. Oh,
Ben, you got your second in there.
all right.
Paul, are you in favor?
Aye.
Paul, you're in favor?
Aye.
Ben,
I'm in favor.
Kevin,
All right.
I am as well. Kathy, are you in favor?
I am.
Thank you. All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks,
See you
everybody.
next
you.
week. Thank you.
See everybody.
Bye.